guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now for this video I'd like to review a horror Blu-ray that I watched just last night. Now the movie was made in 2025 and it's directed by Zach Greger, and it stars Josh Brolin and Julia Garner, and that movie is called Weapons. Okay then guys, before I say anything further about the movie and give you my thoughts on the storyline as a whole, I'll just read you the blurb at the back of this edition just in case you're not familiar with it. Now, when all but one child from the same class mysteriously vanishes on the same night at exactly the same time, a community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. So there you go guys, that's the basic plot of Weapons. This has just got a couple of special features. It's got an interview with director Zach Greger, making horror personal, weaponise the cast of weapons and weapons textures of terror. Okay then guys, on to my thoughts now on the movie. Quite enjoyed it, yeah. Very original. You know, it's not the sort of like formulaic teenagers, like, you know, getting stalked in the woods and that, you know, the usual dross, you know, getting slashed and that, you know, very multi-layered story. And as I said, you know, when I read the blurb, it all centers around this town in America, and all the kids just leave the houses at 2:17 in the morning. They just leave all the houses and like run into the dark, and they're never seen again. And they run like I said, because they got the way of running like this, sort of like they run like this, or sort of like with their hands like out like that, sort of like at the sides and that, and they just run into the darkness and you don't see anything more of them. Now the movie starts off with a voiceover by one of the children of the town relating what happened, this strange thing, what happened you know, a couple of months ago. Now I must admit guys, I wasn't too keen on this voiceover by this kid. I thought to myself, bloody hell, when is he gonna shut up and that the movie's gonna start? Yeah. But having said that, you know, that's just a minor gripe. I did, on the whole, I did like this movie. You know, I did like its originality and its mystery, especially its mystery, and great performances by all the cast. And it was nice to watch a movie, sit down and watch a horror movie that, you know, something different, and that throws something different on the table. Not, as I said, not the same old formulaic garbage what you see time and time again in a lot of these modern horror movies. So yeah, I did quite enjoy Weapons. But yeah, but so what happens? But I'll try not to give too much away, but guys, you know, I just skim around the story because I don't want to spoil it for you. So I'll just give you some points in that, you know, and just like it points out things when I liked and that, you know, and the other thing that I might have disliked and that. But yeah, so say great performances all around, very dark, ominous atmosphere permeating the whole story, and basically the movie's divided into like chapters, if you like, and in each chapter centers on a different character's viewpoints. So for one chapter you might get the main protagonist, you know, the teacher, and then you might get the viewpoints of the guy who's trying to help her and that, you know, the Josh Brolin character, and then a couple of other characters as well, a policeman that goes to their viewpoints, a drug addict. And it's basically like they're like mini story, but from their viewpoints and that. There is a couple of flashbacks in it, but it didn't really spoil the movie to any great extent and that, you know, where I got bored and switched it off. It held me attention right through, and as I say, I was fascinated to learn what had happened to all these kids. All but one child just run into the darkness and you don't see them anymore, you know. So the mystery kept me captivated right to the very end. And yeah, quite a few unexpected things as well. I thought to myself, well, what's going to happen next and that, you know. A very unpredictable movie as Weapons, and as I say, so basically, so you've got the lad like the sole survivor and that, you know, he's very withdrawn, he doesn't want to talk about it and that, you know. And then like the teacher, the main female protagonist, she gets a lot of hassle from the townsfolk because they think she's got something to do with it, because all the kids that disappeared were in her class except the lad, you know, the one lad, and they're starting to you know, attribute the blame to her, you know, basically like, you know, she's done something and that, you know, they don't know what obviously, but you know, to cause all the kids to mysteriously vanish and that. So she gets a hell of a lot of hassle from the townsfolk, this teacher, you know. But then, like, as I say, it moves to the other characters as well, and that, you know, you get their different. As I say, it's split into sort of like like segments and that, you know, each one, you know, from the viewpoints of a particular character. So yeah, but a very, very dark story, very, very multi-layered, and there are some like meanings, hidden meanings. Like, you know, as you go along, you start wondering, oh, has that got another meaning? Like, what does that mean? And that, you know, so you start wondering, like, as some deeper sort of like meaning to each act and that, you know. But I say I don't want to go on too much about it because I don't want to spoil Weapons for you. But it's quite an original horror movie, as I say, and you know, if you like a good mystery with your horror movies, which I do, you will be captivated, right, just as I was, right to the very end, to see just exactly what's caused all these kids to mysteriously just run into the dark at 2:17 in the morning and vanish. Yeah, so yeah, so good basis there, guys, for a good horror story. But yeah, there's some quite hair-raising moments as well, and that, you know, some quite you know, bloody fight scenes and that, you know, and you know, I won't go into detail, like, guys, what happens in some of the scenes, but you know, your jaw will drop in a couple of the encounters, yeah. But yeah, this teacher doesn't half get it from the townsfolk and that, you know. It reminded me of you know, The Girl and the Birds, who Tippi Hedren's character Melanie, where the townsfolk start blaming him on this one particular woman. Blame her for what happened when the bird starts attacking. If you've seen The Bird, you'll know what I mean. Start pointing the finger of accusation, the finger of suspicion at Melanie. So the same sort of thing happens with this teacher. You know, all the townsfolk think she's got something to do with it, and that, you know. But yeah, it's a movie that'll stay with you like long, you know, long after you've watched it, and yeah, because there's all different meanings in it now, hidden meanings and that. And but I won't say any more about it, guys. I'll let you see it for yourself. But I was pleasantly surprised at how much, you know, I enjoyed it, because I know, like, you know, I do know a lot of people do like this movie. I do know quite a few people that don't like it. So I think it's a kind of a Marmite movie. But you know, I enjoyed it. Like, you know, I didn't think it was a fantastic movie, you know, breathtaking. I just thought it was a good horror movie with a good layer of mystery, and I liked all the characters and that, you know, and yeah, my mum wasn't too keen on it because she didn't like the way it was going back and the flashbacks and that, you know, and sort of like going backwards and forwards, and it was broken down into segments and that. She wasn't too keen on that, but I didn't mind that. I enjoyed it, and the flashbacks didn't detract from it too much to the extent that I didn't want to watch anymore. I didn't mind the flashbacks in Weapons, you know. You know, I thought it was very conducive to a good story and that, you know. And as I say, like, the way the kids is really weird, because they just run out the houses and that, you know. And there's another thing as well, guys, like hanging over one of the houses, like, you think it's a spaceship at first, and it sort of like slowly materializes into form like an army machine gun. So make of that what you will, but that's all I'm going to say about that, you know. But yeah, great performances all around, good solid story, very atmospheric. And if you're a horror fan, if you like your modern horror movies, you haven't seen Weapons, give it a go. You know, I think you'll if you like me, if you like a bit of mystery to your horror movies, I think you'll derive a lot of enjoyment from Weapons. I certainly did, in that, you know. And I may keep it in my collection, you know, to watch again. Okay then, guys, I'm going to give a rating now of Weapons. I think I will give Weapons. I think I'll give it I think I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah, just one or two little things, like, you know, I'd say particularly, I wasn't too keen on the voiceover of the kid at the start of the movie, and I was really straining my ears to, you know, to try and decipher what the kid was saying and that, you know, for how long is it going to go on for, you know. Let's get to the meat of the story, the meat and potatoes of the story, you know. But I thought to myself, well, I'm not going to be in this kid droning right through the movie at intervals and that, but thankfully we didn't and that, you know. But yeah, it's a movie that's got you thinking, you know, and you know, thinking all sorts of possibilities, what could have happened to these kids who just suddenly, you know, leave the house at 2:17 in the morning, run into the dark, never to be seen again, you know. There's a couple of elements of George A. Romero in this as well, guys, and that, you know, George A. Romero's movies and that, you know, and you know, supernatural movies, like, you know, there's a little bit. I think there's a little bit of everything in this, guys. There's a couple of comedy satire. Let's call it satire, satirical moments in it as well. Yeah, but I don't want to go on too much about it because I don't want to spoil it for you. But I enjoyed the performances, I say, of the cast, and particularly the lady who plays the teacher, you know, and Josh Brolin. You know, he was very good in it as well, and that, you know, all trying to fathom out what's going on and that, you know. And but yeah, very well put together, and all the segments, as you know, they fitted together, and you know, it tied everything up at the end and that, you know. Okay then, guys, that's it. That's my review of Weapons. Have you seen Weapons? What do you think of it? Do you share my opinion that it was a very good, enjoyable horror movie? Yeah, leave your comments down below. Let's get a good discussion going about Weapons. But yeah, guys, I enjoyed it, and that, and as I say, it's a treat to sit down and watch a modern horror movie that doesn't have me tearing me bloody hair out with frustration and that, and reaching for the off switch. So yeah, I enjoyed Weapons. Okay then, guys, that's it. Yeah, if you like the video, please feel free to share, subscribe, comments, and all going well. Hope to be back again very, very soon. And hopefully the next video will be all the Blu-rays and DVDs that I picked up for the month of October. Okay, see you then. Take care. Ta-ta. If you enjoyed watching this video, guys, you might like to check out my website at www.alantoner.com. You'll be able to find out a little bit more about my work as a writer and all the books I have published to date. Thanks for watching.